Okay, so you've had that moment, right? That flash of brilliance. Feels like a whole book just landed in your head. It's an amazing
It
feeling.
really is. But the stats are pretty sobering. Something like 90% of people who actually start writing go up, they quit,
Yeah.
usually before they even hit 10,000 words.
Wow, 90%. And the gap there, it's not really about creativity running out, is it? Our sources say it's almost entirely structural.
Exactly. That structure or lack of it is what we're diving into today. We're not really focusing on, how to find your muse.
No magic wands here.
No, none. This is about the repeatable process, the step-by-step system that prolific authors use. It's built on discipline, strategy, and honestly, some pretty hard pragmatic expectations.
So our mission for you listening is to bridge that gap. We want to take you from that raw concept, that spark, all the way to a finished, edited manuscript.
Yep. And we've broken it down into three main chunks based on what the successful authors do. First, positioning and planning, getting the strategy right.
Second, discipline, structure, and execution. The actual doing.
And finally, phase three, the drafting and revision mindset, which involves some mental gymnastics, let's say.
Yeah. The goal really is simple, isn't it? Stop feeling overwhelmed, start putting a structure in place.
And finish the book you actually set out to write. Let's get into phase one.
Okay, phase one, positioning and planning. Starting right at the beginning, you've got an idea. But what really struck me from the sources was this distinction between just a good idea and a truly book-sized idea.
Mm-hmm. You have to nail the why before you even think about the how.
Right.
For nonfiction, especially, the book has to be solving a specific problem for a specific group of people. If you can't clearly answer what problem does this solve and who is it for, then, frankly, the idea is probably too vague. It's not ready.
And for fiction, how does that translate?
For fiction, it's more about a central conflict or a really compelling what-if question that grabs you immediately. It needs that core tension.
The sources mention some quick ways to test this, like just free writing for 10 minutes or using the classic 5 W's, who, what, why, where, when, maybe even a mind map.
Yeah, those are great for just getting the initial thoughts down, exploring the edges of the idea. But once you have that raw material, the first really strategic step is defining realistic objectives for the book.
Okay, objectives. What does that mean in practice?
Well, this is critical because, honestly, a lot of failure starts right here with setting the wrong goal. Success needs clear positioning. That means how the reader sees your book actually fulfilling their notes.
Okay.
So the author, you, have to decide what you realistically want this book to achieve before you write a single word.
And realistic objectives would be things like raising your visibility, getting more authority in your field, maybe attracting clients or speaking gigs.
Exactly. Those are tangible outcomes tied to your career or impact, leaving a legacy, impacting people's lives. Those work too. They serve a purpose beyond just, having written a book.
But the sources were also pretty blunt about some toxic goals to avoid.
Oh yeah, they listed the big ones. I want to sell 1 million copies. Or I have to be a New York Times bestseller. Or even that vague, fuzzy goal of trying to fill some emotional void by writing.
Why are those goals so dangerous, though? Shouldn't we aim high?
Well, yes, aim high in terms of quality and impact, but those specific goals, they're almost entirely outside your control, especially for a first book. They become demoralizing.
How so?
Because if you tie all your effort, all those hours of writing, to an outcome you can't actually influence like market trends or bestseller lists, you're setting yourself up to quit the minute it gets hard.
Right.
And it will get hard.
Right. So the achievable goal is finishing the book and making sure it reaches and impacts the right reader.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Which leaves us straight into finding that audience bullseye. This was hammered home in the sources. Your book is not for everyone.
That feels counterintuitive, doesn't it? You want as many readers as possible.
You'd think so, but if you try to write for everyone, you end up connecting with no one. It becomes generic. You have to narrow it down to a primary audience, the bullseye.
And this is where that avatar exercise comes in.
Absolutely mandatory. Don't just describe a demographic like women aged 30, 40. Describe a single, specific, typical person from that core audience.
Like the example they gave. Jennifer, an advanced practice nurse. You know her struggles, long hours, low pay. Maybe she's scared of starting her own practice.
Exactly that level of detail. You need to feel her pain. What is she missing out on right now because she doesn't have the knowledge or solution your book offers?
And then flip it. Define the specific, tangible transformation your book gives her. What's the new life, the specific benefit?
That journey From her current pain to that promised transformation, that's the absolute bedrock of your book's value. It justifies everything else.
Okay, so once you have that clarity,
Then you can lock the whole thing down into a one-sentence premise. For nonfiction, this sentence has to state the problem, identify the person guiding the reader, that's you, the author, and clearly name the solution.
problem, person, solution. Got it. And then there's one final check.
The 200-word test. Simple, but effective. Can you write one paragraph, 200 words or less that answers? What's the book about? Who's the ideal reader, or your avatar? And what specific transformation will they get?
And if you can't do that concisely,
Then the idea is still too fuzzy, still too sprawling. You need to go back and refine it until it passes that test.
all right, phase 2. We've got the strategy, we know the audience, the idea is sharp. Now we actually have to build the thing. This moves from thinking to doing, right?
Yep, the intellectual part is, well, not easy, but it's different. This is where the grind begins. And the first thing is setting expectations properly.
Meaning, acknowledge it's going to be tough.
Exactly. The sources are clear. Writing a good book is hard. It can be tiring, confusing, definitely overwhelming at times, and, yeah, emotionally uncomfortable.
That word overwhelm comes up a lot. How did
Yeah.
the sources define it?
Simply as not knowing what to do next. That feeling of paralysis. And that's why the focus shifts so hard to structure and discipline rather than waiting for inspiration to strike. Inspiration is great, but it's unreliable.
It comes and goes.
Right. Discipline is what you build. It's a daily habit.
So how do we build it? Scheduling seems key.
Non-negotiable, according to the sources. You can't just fit writing in when you feel like it. Pick an exact time, an exact place, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., home office, whatever works. But lock it in.
Treat it like a serious appointment.
Absolutely. Because momentum in a project this long is everything. You're either moving forward each day or, frankly, you're slipping backward. There's not much middle ground.
Okay, scheduled time. What about the actual goal for that time?
This is where the sources suggest something that sounds, well, almost too small. The specific recommendation is a daily goal of 250 words per hour of writing time.
250. That feels tiny. Like 1 page, maybe? Why set the bar so low? Wouldn't aiming for, say, 1,000 words be more productive?
But it's psychology. If your goal is 1,000 words and you have an off day or you hit a tricky section, you miss the goal. You feel like a failure.
And that makes it easier to skip the next day.
Exactly. Quitting feels justified. But 250 words, it's almost impossible not to hit that.
Yeah.
Even on a bad day, you can usually manage 250 words in an hour.
Okay, I see the logic. It's about consistency.
It is. And the math is surprisingly powerful. Let's run it.
Go ahead.
Just 250 words a day, maybe 5 days a week. In about 4 months, you've got a 30,000-word first draft. That's roughly 120 printed pages.
Okay, when you put it like that.
That low goal builds the habit. It lowers the anxiety barrier. And what usually happens, you sit down thinking just 250 stig, and you end up writing 500 or 750. You walk away feeling successful, accomplished.
And that feeling fuels you for the next session.
That's the engine. But before you even start counting those words, you need the roadmap, the structure.
The outline, right.
Absolutely crucial. A skeleton outline, main sections, chapter titles or topics. For fiction, maybe key scenes. This is your defense against that overwhelm we talked about.
Because when you sit down at 8 a.m.
You already know exactly what you're working on.
Yeah.
Chapter 5, section about X. No time wasted staring at a blank page wondering what comes next.
Makes sense. And structure needs accountability to stick. Deadlines.
Real deadlines, not sometime next year. Specific dates.
Yeah.
The sources suggest maybe 1 chapter a month if life is crazy, or maybe 1 every 2 weeks if you have more dedicated time. Find a pace that stretches you but is doable.
What about external pressure? Can that help?
Definitely. One suggestion is to publicly announce you're writing the book. Tell friends, family, maybe post it on social media or email your network.
Creates stakes.
It does. You don't want to look like you gave up. And related to that, start thinking of yourself as an author right now. Own the identity you've committed.
I liked the accountability hack about setting consequences. That seemed intense, but maybe effective?
It's powerful if you actually do it. If you miss a deadline, the consequence has to sting. Something that makes not writing feel worse than actually sitting down to do it.
Like paying a fine to a cause you dislike.
Or committing to some really unpleasant chore. Yeah. That connection procrastination equals pain can be a very strong motivator to just get those 250 words down.
Okay, phase 3. Discipline's in place, outlines ready, now comes the first draft. And this requires a big mental shift, doesn't it? accepting imperfection.
Huge shift. This is where the concept of the vomit draft comes in, and it's so liberating.
Explain that. Sounds messy.
Huh? It kind of is. But the idea is simple. Give yourself explicit permission right now to write a mediocre, imperfect first draft. It's a tool to shut down your inner editor.
Like that Barbara King Solver quote. Something about giving yourself permission to write a bad book first.
That's the one. One,
Yeah.
to begin, give yourself permission to write a bad book. Two, revise until it's not a bad book. That's the process.
So the rule for this draft is?
Write fast, as quickly as you can. Do not stop to read what you just wrote. Do not stop to edit sentences. Don't look up facts or figures.
What if you hit a snag? A part you know needs more info or isn't quite right?
You make a note, maybe square brackets with TK for to come, or just mentally flag it and tell yourself, that's a problem for future me. Keep moving forward.
Why is stopping to fix things so bad at this stage?
It kills momentum, Dad. Every time you stop, you risk getting bogged down, second-guessing yourself. It can add months, seriously, months or even years to the project. Your only job in this first draft is getting the ideas from the outline onto the page. Judgment comes later, much later.
Okay, so keep moving. What about when writers get stuck on finding their voice? People worry about that a lot.
They do, but the sources basically say, stop looking for it.
Yeah.
Your voice isn't something you find. It's already part of who you are, how you think, how you talk.
So how do you access it without anxiety?
The sources suggest a couple of helpful mental frames. One, imagine you're just having a conversation with a friend. Tell them what you know. This lowers the pressure, focuses you on value for the listener.
Makes it less formal.
Exactly. The second frame, imagine you're helping a stranger heal the same pain you once overcame. This focuses you on empathy, on practical help, which pushes fear aside.
That focus on the reader connects to those core principles for great nonfiction writing that came up. 4 rules.
Yep, 4 mandates really for clarity and impact. First, make it short.
Short how?
Short chapters, under 4,000 words if possible. Short paragraphs, just 2 or 3 sentences often. And short sentences aim for that 5 to 20 word range, mostly. Brevity respects the reader's time.
Okay, short. What's next?
Number 2, make it simple. Use plain, clear English. Even for complex topics, there's that great Feynman idea. If you can't explain something simply, you probably don't understand it well enough yourself.
Simple doesn't mean dumbed down. It means clear.
Precisely. Smart is simple. Third, make it direct. Cut out the fluff, the jargon, the hedging, and crucially, kill the passive voice.
Passive voice. We see it everywhere. Quick example.
Passive. The book was written by Tucker. It's wordy, indirect, active. Tucker wrote the book. Clear, direct. Uses fewer words, easier for the brain to process. Always choose active.
Got it. And the 4th mandate?
Maybe the toughest. Make it about the reader. Constantly ask yourself, for every single paragraph, maybe every sentence, why does the reader care about this? Is this anecdote serving them and their transformation, or just serving you because you like the story?
If it doesn't serve the reader?
Cut it. Be ruthless. It has to move them forward.
Okay, but even with all this, people hit blocks, right? Writer's block, procrastination.
Often, yeah. And usually it's a symptom of fear of judgment, fear of failure. But if you have your outline, you technically shouldn't get truly stuck. If you feel blocked, the strategy is usually to change your context. Well, think about it. Nobody ever gets speaker's block. Right. So if you're stuck writing, try talking it out. Record yourself explaining the next section, as if to your friend or your Jennifer.
Or physically change context.
Yeah, get up, take a walk. Go write in a coffee shop, a library, anywhere different. Break that physical and mental loop of feeling stuck in one spot.
All right, so you push through, you finish the vomit draft. What then? Don't jump right into editing.
No. Critical step. Take a break. Step away completely. At least a week. Ideally 2 if you can manage it.
Yeah.
You need distance to get fresh eyes.
So you shift from author to reader.
Exactly. You become the first critical reader. And when you do start editing, you have to remember who that ultimate reader is. They're impatient. They're selfish. They only care what's in it for them. And they're probably ignorant about your specific topic. You have to earn their attention constantly.
Okay, so the editing process itself, 3 phases.
3 main passes. Phase 1, the make it right edit. Big picture stuff. Is all the content there? Is it in the right order? Are the facts correct? Does the overall structure make sense? Chapter 3 flows to Chapter 4 logically.
Makes sense. Phase 2.
The line-by-line edit. This is where you get granular. The sources give 6 killer questions to ask for every chapter, every paragraph, every sentence.
6 questions. Let's hear them.
Okay. What point am I making here? Is this point necessary? Is it as short as possible? Is it as simple as possible? Is it as direct as possible? Applying those systematically forces you to tighten and clarify everything.
Wow, that sounds rigorous.
It is,
Yeah.
but effective.
Mm.
And then phase 3, the secret weapon, the read aloud edit.
Reading the whole thing out loud.
The whole thing. Best-selling authors swear by this. Your brain skips over awkward phrasing and flow problems when you read silently. Reading it aloud forces you to hear the clunky bits, the run-on sentences, the jargon.
Any tips for making that happen? It seems awkward.
Read it to another person if you can. The social pressure helps. Or record yourself reading it. You'll catch so much more.
Okay, so after all that editing,
Yeah.
how do you know when you're actually done? How do you avoid that endless perfectionist tweaking, the editing death spiral?
Ah, yes, the spiral. You need a clear stopping mechanism. That's the edit stop quiz.
A quiz.
2 questions. Question 1, is this the absolute best book you are capable of writing right now with your current skills and knowledge? Be honest.
Okay. And if the answer is no?
This question 2, what specific action can you take right now to make it better? Is it fixing a chapter, clarifying a point, cutting a section?
Right. But what if the answer involves something huge?
That's the key. If the only answer to what can I do right now is something like I need to become a fundamentally better writer, or I need 3 more years of research,
Yeah, you stop.
then you stop. That's the signal. The book is as good as you can make it now. It's time to ship it. You're done with this draft. #tag outro.
Wow. Okay, so let's recap the big takeaways. It's about intense focus on the idea and audience first, that 200-word test.
Then ruthless discipline, built on that small, consistent 250-word daily goal.
Embracing the messiness of the vomit draft to just get it finished quickly.
And finally, using that edit stop quiz to actually call it done and beat perfectionism.
So, putting this all together, what's the final word?
Look, lots of people want to write a book. Very few actually finish one. If you follow this process, this structure, and just commit to not quitting,
Yeah.
then you kind of have an obligation, don't you? To yourself, sure, but more importantly to that audience, to Jennifer the nurse or whoever your reader is.
An obligation to share what you know.
Absolutely. Someone out there needs the transformation that's locked inside your head right now. They need your book, even if it's not perfect by some imaginary standard.
Don't let fear or perfectionism keep that value hidden.
Ship the work. Someone needs it.
Get moving!